He's the visionary who redefined rap, fashion, and fame, and tore down every wall on his way up and down. A music producer turned rapper, a rapper turned fashion mogul, a fashion mogul turned global disruptor. To some, he's a genius. To others, he's chaos in human form. Controversial, groundbreaking, infuriating, inspirational. No matter where you stand on Ye, one thing is undeniable. You're paying attention. From billion-dollar sneaker deals to political meltdowns, from Grammy speeches to presidential campaigns, Ye has spent 2 decades turning the industry inside out. He's lived in stadiums, built schools, reimagined luxury, and preached gospel in fashion weak fits. He's made the world dance and made it uncomfortable, sometimes in the same breath. So who is Kanye West? Really? Is he the misunderstood genius of our time? Or a fallen icon chasing ghosts? Let's rewind the beat, trace the blueprint, and step inside the mind of Ye. This is the story of an empire built on faith, fame, and friction. Welcome to the world of Ye. Perched along the edge of the Pacific Ocean, cold, monolithic, and mysterious, sits Kanye West's Malibu compound, purchased for $57.3 million in 2021. This isn't a home, it's a statement. Designed by legendary Japanese architect Tadao Ando, the structure is a masterclass in postmodern minimalism. 3 floors, over 4,000 square feet, and built almost entirely out of reinforced concrete and glass. It's more fortress than family home. Inside, there are no chandeliers, no warm light, no cozy spaces, just raw concrete, rigid geometry, and the echo of silence. There's no kitchen, no conventional living room, because Ye doesn't believe in conventional anything. His bedroom faces the open sea, with no television, just a panoramic view of nature and isolation. There are bunker-like meditation rooms, designed for solitude and spiritual reset. The space is cold, on purpose. Every inch of this home is wired for smart automation. With a tap of a screen, Ye can control the airflow, ambient sound, and even the tint of the windows. Precision and control, both architecturally and personally. It's not built to entertain. It's built to focus, built to retreat. After years of media storms, public fallouts, and personal reckonings, this space became Ye's answer to the chaos: total stillness. The rooftop offers one of the most breathtaking views in all of Malibu, uninterrupted ocean stretching for miles. But even this, Ye has said, is not about luxury, it's about perspective. A hidden Zen garden lies at the heart of the home, meticulously arranged, yet entirely natural. Here, Ye meditates, sketches, plans, or just sits in silence. He calls it his creative desert. The home was originally owned by a Wall Street financier, but Ye gutted it, redesigned it, repurposed it, reimagined it, until every line, every texture, spoke the same language: discipline and design. Set in one of Malibu's most exclusive and reclusive stretches, the home has no front lawn, no neighbors in sight, just waves, wind, and wandering thoughts. For a man once addicted to the noise, this house became his mute button. It may not look like comfort to you, but to Ye, this is peace, this is purpose, this is post-ego living. An architectural metaphor for reinvention, minimalism, and complete creative control. For most celebrities, cars are status symbols. For Ye, they're part of the message. Part vehicle, part visual. His garage is as meticulously curated as his albums. Start with the Sherp ATV, a monstrous amphibious machine built for survival, not speed. No cup holders, no leather trim, just a cold, hard end-of-the-world aesthetic. Perfectly Ye. Next, the Lamborghinis, an Urus for daily chaos, and Aventador for pure aggression. both wrapped in signature matte finishes with debadged exteriors that whisper wealth, not scream it. Then there's the Tesla Cybertruck, still unreleased but already parked in Ye's mind. Futuristic, unorthodox, bulletproof, a truck that's less about horsepower, more about power in form. And of course, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, but not the one you've seen before. Kanye's version is armored, muted, and minimal. A tank in disguise, luxurious but ready for battle. Whispers of a Bugatti Veyron in the fleet, unconfirmed but fitting. One of the fastest cars ever built. Like Ye's career, extreme, expensive, and impossible to ignore. Ye customizes his interiors like he produces a beat. Remove the noise, cut the branding, let the form breathe. The result? A vehicle that looks less like a showroom model and more like an extension of his aesthetic discipline. These aren't just rides, they're props in a visual campaign. You'll spot them in music videos, Yeezy lookbooks, even parked in the middle of abandoned warehouses. All part of the Ye mythos. From post-apocalyptic survival to high-fashion excess, Kanye's fleet tells a story, not of status, but of philosophy. Each vehicle represents a phase, a mindset, a mood. Whether it's roaring through Hollywood or disappearing into the Wyoming wild, Kanye's cars don't just move him physically, they carry his narrative. Minimalism in motion, iconography on wheels. At his peak, Kanye West was a certified billionaire, worth over $1.5 billion according to Forbes. But after the Adidas deal collapsed in 2022, the empire cracked, and the world watched in real time. Brand deals vanished, partnerships dissolved, valuations tumbled, and almost overnight, Ye's billion-dollar status disappeared, at least on paper. As of 2025, Ye's estimated net worth sits between 400 and 600 million. Still enormous, but a far cry from his financial peak. The question isn't whether Ye is rich, it's how he stays rich. Despite the Adidas fallout, Ye still profits from residuals on previously released Yeezy inventory, limited reissues, archived drops, and an audience still loyal to the design, not the headlines. With over 12 billion streams on Spotify alone, Ye earns millions annually from royalties, including solo albums, production credits, and publishing rights on some of hip-hop's most iconic songs. Ye's real estate portfolio spans Malibu, Calabasas, and Wyoming. Some properties are experimental, like the shuttered domes of Ecosystem. Others, like his Malibu bunker, are personal sanctuaries with growing market value. Though major brands distance themselves, Ye hasn't stopped. Private, unannounced brand deals, from fashion capsules to design collabs, continue behind the scenes, often outside the mainstream spotlight. On YouTube, Apple Music, and other platforms, Ye earns passive income from decades of archived content. Performances, documentaries, interviews, even leaks. His back catalog still monetizes like gold. Ye also dabbles in stocks and cryptocurrency, holding equity in emerging tech, sustainable energy, and even speculative blockchain art. Volatile? Yes, but Kanye has never played it safe. And then there's the soul of it all, Sunday service. What began as spiritual revival became a revenue generator. Gospel albums, touring performances, merch drops, all under Ye's creative control. He may not be a billionaire today, but make no mistake, Ye's money is moving, quietly, unconventionally, and always on his terms. Merch wasn't just an add-on for Kanye. It was the mission. Through Yeezy, he didn't just sell sneakers and clothes. He built a global uniform for outsiders, creatives, and rebels. At its peak, Yeezy with Adidas generated over $1 billion a year. The 300 tees, foam runners, and slides became cultural staples, minimal, functional, and instantly recognizable. Even after their fallout, Adidas resumed restricted re-releases in 2023. Not out of loyalty, but out of contract. And Ye still earned royalties. Then came Yeezy Gap, a high-low fusion that brought futuristic silhouettes to the masses. Though the deal was eventually cancelled, the impact was undeniable. Those round jackets and engineered hoodies? Instant icons. Fashion houses couldn't ignore him. Louis Vuitton called him a Don. Fendi let him design early on. Balenciaga embraced his dark, monastic aesthetic before it was trendy. But Ye doesn't just design clothes, he builds worlds. Through Donda Industrial Design, he's quietly worked with architects, furniture designers, even urban planners, reimagining how spaces, products, and people coexist. Every stitch, every silhouette, from the washed-out color palettes to the modular footwear, told a story of rebellion through restraint. Yeezy redefined sneaker culture. No logos, no tech fluff, just shape, comfort, and scarcity. And in doing so, he created a billion-dollar design language that moved faster than fashion itself. To Kanye, a hoodie isn't just a hoodie. A shoe isn't just a shoe. It's a canvas for philosophy, for disruption. And that's why, whether you wear Yeezys or burn them, you're part of the conversation. For most artists, social media is a tool. For Ye, it's a weapon. His presence, or sudden disappearance, online isn't random. It's part of a playbook. Engage, provoke, vanish. One moment he's posting biblical quotes. The next, a new Yeezy boot or a Donda teaser. Then, everything disappears. And yet, every time, the internet erupts. Each return fuels a press cycle. Each exit, a cliffhanger. Ye's YouTube channel is less polished influencer feed, more digital museum. Short films, lo-fi listening parties, unreleased visuals, and it all racks up streams, generating passive income 24/7. Even in silence, Ye is making money. Behind the scenes, royalties continue from past Yeezy designs, now sold under restructured licenses, including international and resale channels. Then there's the music catalog. His songs are featured in film trailers, TV shows, and commercials, often without the public knowing. Every sync deal equals a quiet check. In an age of constant content, Ye has figured out how to earn without effort. Royalties, resale spikes, digital archives, and IP licensing do the heavy lifting while he builds his next empire. His words may disappear, his accounts may deactivate, but the revenue machine, it never sleeps. Before he grabbed the mic, Kanye West was the man behind the music, producing hits for Jay-Z, Ludacris, and Talib Kweli. A ghost in the booth, until he forced the world to hear his voice. Then came the accident, a near-fatal crash that would birth his debut single, Through the Wire, wrapped with his jaw wired shut. It was raw, it was painful, it was Kanye. With College Dropout, Kanye flipped the rap world on its head. No chains, no gang talk, just ambition, insecurity, faith, and soul samples. Backpack rap had arrived, and it had a chip on its shoulder. The rise was meteoric. Grammy after Grammy, stadium tours, and a trilogy of albums that redefined 2000s hip-hop. Kanye wasn't just breaking through, he was reshaping the game. But genius came with gravity. Mental health breakdowns, public meltdowns, a canceled tour mid-arena. The world watched Ye unravel, in real time. Then came politics, a MAGA hat, a trip to the White House, and a wave of confusion. Fans felt betrayed, brands pulled back, and Ye became untouchable. But in the silence, Ye rebuilt. Sunday service wasn't just gospel, it was therapy. Donda wasn't just an album, it was grief and grace on wax. The rebirth had begun. He turned his pain into architecture, music into ministry, and design into discipline. The man who once sought the spotlight was now building systems. From Rockefeller's secret weapon to hip-hop's wild card, Ye's journey has been anything but linear. But through it all, one thing remained constant: motion, always creating, always evolving. He fell, he fractured, he forged a new self. This is Ye, not resurrected, but redefined. Before the fame, the scandals, the fashion, there was simply Kanye Omari West, born June 8, 1977, in Atlanta, Georgia, and raised on the south side of Chicago. At the heart of his origin story is Donda West, a respected English professor who instilled in her only son a deep love for language, expression, and self-worth. She wasn't just his mom, she was his anchor, his mirror, his muse. Following her lead, Ye enrolled at Chicago State University, studying English. But lectures and textbooks couldn't contain his ambition. He dropped out, trading a degree for a dream, and unknowingly crafting the title of his first album. In basements and back rooms across Chicago, he was building his sound, sampling soul, chopping drums, looping magic. Word spread fast. Kanye West was a beat-making prodigy, and he didn't just make beats, he made statements. At first, nobody wanted to hear him rap, only produce. So he doubled down, crafting instrumentals for Chicago legends and quietly plotting a path to prove he could be both behind the boards and in front of the mic. That path led to Rockefeller Records, where his breakout moment came producing for Jay-Z's The Blueprint. Tracks like Izzo, H-O-V-A, turned heads. Kanye wasn't just knocking on the door anymore, he was inside the building. From humble homes to platinum plaques, Ye's origin isn't just about where he started. It's about who built him, who believed in him, and the city that gave him his rhythm. This was the boy before the brand. He started behind the boards, but by the early 2000s, Kanye West was producing for royalty. Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, Ludacris. He wasn't mainstream yet, but the industry knew Ye was different. When Ye laced Izzo, H-O-V-A, for Jay-Z's The Blueprint in 2001, it was more than a hit. It was a sonic shift. Soul samples chopped, sped up, flipped into something brand new. Suddenly, rap sounded warmer, more human. From Alicia's You Don't Know My Name to Luda's Stand Up, Kanye proved he wasn't a one-trick producer. He could mold beats for the streets or the soul. He was a bridge between generations. In 2004, Ye took the leap. The College Dropout was more than a debut album. It was a cultural earthquake. No guns, no fake bravado. Just a kid from Chicago rapping about debt, doubt, God, and hustle. Ye's formula? Chipmunk soul? Sped-up vintage samples fused with lush chords and bass lines? But what hit hardest were his words. Student loans, racism, self-doubt, faith. Music for people living real lives. He didn't just win hearts, he won awards. Grammys came early and often. Before the age of 30, Kanye had already cemented himself as the voice of a new, vulnerable kind of hip-hop, a leader without the chain and champagne. From underground beatmaker to international headliner in just a few years. Kanye didn't just rise, he redefined what a hip-hop star could look and sound like. This wasn't just a new sound, it was a new archetype. Kanye West has never shied away from controversy. In 2005, during a Hurricane Katrina telethon, he shocked the world with the words, "George Bush doesn't care about black people." Fast forward to the late 2010s, and Ye's political stances sparked even more debate. His public support for Donald Trump, wearing the MAGA hat, and controversial comments on race and culture alienated longtime fans and industry allies. Who could forget the infamous 2009 VMAs? Interrupting Taylor Swift mid-acceptance, Kanye forever altered his public image, from gifted artist to unpredictable provocateur. Then, in 2022, His anti-Semitic comments resulted in widespread condemnation, corporate fallout, and cultural isolation. Major partners like Adidas, Balenciaga, and Gap severed ties. The billionaire turned pariah, at least in the eyes of mainstream brands. Mental health has been central to Yeezy's story. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder, his battles have sparked a broader conversation. Where does accountability end and compassion begin? His struggles blur the line between genius and vulnerability. Love him or hate him, Kanye West is a complex figure, a lightning rod for praise and criticism alike. His controversies are inseparable from his art and his legacy. Kanye West's personal life has often been as public as his music. From 2014 to 2021, he was married to reality star and entrepreneur Kim Kardashian, a union that captured global attention. Together, they have 4 children: North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. A close-knit family often spotlighted in media and social channels. In recent years, rumors swirl around Ye's relationship with Bianca Censori, an architectural designer involved in his creative projects, a private but significant part of his life. Ye follows a disciplined lifestyle, embracing intermittent fasting and health-conscious habits that reflect his focus on mind and body balance. His travels take him from the serene landscapes of Wyoming ranches to the bustling streets of Japan and the glamour of Paris Fashion Week, a blend of reflection and inspiration. Post-2020, Kanye is known for a stripped-down, minimalist lifestyle, shedding excess to focus on purpose, family, and creative vision. Kanye West's influence goes beyond music and fashion. He's deeply invested in shaping the future through philanthropy and culture. Named after his late mother, Donda Academy was a private school designed to nurture creativity and critical thinking in youth, blending arts, technology, and personal development. Though the school ultimately closed, its mission left an indelible mark. Through partnerships with various organizations, Ye has funded scholarships to help underprivileged students pursue education in arts and technology, aiming to open doors that his own mother championed. Sunday service is more than a gospel choir. It's a cultural revival, where spiritual music meets high fashion. Ye fused faith and artistry to create a movement that transcended traditional boundaries. Ye has been a provocative voice on mental health, challenging stigma. He's highlighted the importance of Black fatherhood and sparked debate on free speech, forcing society to confront uncomfortable truths. His fingerprints are everywhere, from fashion's runway revolutions to the sound of modern hip-hop and the evolving role of the artist as a business mogul and cultural icon. Whether loved or controversial, Kanye West's cultural impact is undeniable, a legacy still unfolding. Kanye West redefined hip-hop, not with bravado, but with introspection, soul, and fearless risk-taking. He built a sneaker empire that stood toe-to-toe with legends like Michael Jordan. Yeezy wasn't just footwear, it was a cultural phenomenon. More than music and shoes, Ye challenged artists to rethink ownership, branding, and the power of creativity. He blurred the lines between artist and entrepreneur in a way no one had before. But brilliance came with chaos. His journey is marked by controversies, lost partnerships, and polarizing decisions, a trail that's as much about burnout as it is about genius. Love him or hate him, Ye's influence is unmatched, a complex legacy that forces us to confront the price of creativity and fame in the modern age. This is Kanye West, the visionary, the disruptor, the man who changed the game forever. Kanye West, genius, villain, visionary? What's your take on Ye's rise, fall, and reinvention? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most polarizing icons.